Okay. It's Iwata? Iwata.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the players, coaches, and umpires for today's game. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez accueillir les joueurs, entraîneurs et arbitres pour le match d'aujourd'hui. Representing the visiting team of Mexico, the starters in their batting order. Représentant l'équipe visiteur de Mexique, les joueurs partant vers le hall des frappeurs. Number 1, shortstop. Numéro 1, arrêt court, Enrique Gomez. Number 24, numéro 24, second base, deuxième but, Enrique Gonzalez. Number 25, numéro 25, catcher, receveur, Geraldo Borquez. Number 23, numéro 23, first base, premier but, Daniel Dorazo. Number 7, numéro 7, third base, troisième but, Rafael Alvarez. Number 12, numéro 12, right field, champ droit, Jose Garcia. Number 20, numéro 20, designated player, joueur désigné, Carlos Marquez. Number 3, numéro 3, left field, champ gauche, César Marquez. Number 29, numéro 29, center field, champ centre, César Godet. Number 18, numéro 18, pitcher, lanceur, Miguel Ureta. For Team Mexico, substitutes for the game are les joueurs substituts. Hodiel Olias, number 22, numéro 22. Number 8, numéro 8, Jonathan Rodriguez. Number 19, numéro 19, Jonathan Cordova. Number 28, numéro 28, Candelario Ortega. Number 55, numéro 55, Jose Rojas. Number 33, numéro 33, Arnoldo Villavicencio. Number 9, numéro 9, Orlando Piedra. Head coach, entraîneur-chef, Horacio Barones, and the rest of the team staff et le reste du personnel de l'équipe. Representing the home team of Canada, the starters in their batting order. Représentant l'équipe à domicile de Canada, les joueurs partant dans leur ordre de frappeurs. Tyler Powley, number 20, numéro 20, right field, champ droit. Number 5, numéro 5, shortstop, arrêt court, Samuel Bédard Desmarais. Number 79, numéro 79, Tyler Shudara. Catcher, receveur. Number 24, numéro 24, third base, troisième but, Curtis Pikeaway. Number 25, numéro 25, center field, chanson, Matt Pilon. Number 15, numéro 15, left field, champ gauche, François Charles René. Number 7, numéro 7, designated player, joueur désigné, Justin Boyer. Number 8, numéro 8, first base, premier but, Johnny Baker. Number 30, numéro 30, second base, deuxième but, Tyson Zer. Number 55, numéro 55, Matt Wardrop, pitcher, lanceur. For Team Canada, substitutes for the game are les joueurs substituts. Number 16, numéro 16, Zach Mackay. Number 9, numéro 9, Justin Gainey. Number 77, numéro 77, Marc-André Villeneuve. Number 12, numéro 12, Eric Healy. Number 72, numéro 72, Tyler Anderson. Number 10, numéro 10, Josh Elliott. Number 11, numéro 11, Nick Penner. Head coach, entraîneur-chef, Jim Jones, and the rest of the team staff et le reste du personnel de l'équipe. The the umpires for today's game. Les arbitres du match d'aujourd'hui. Home plate umpire from the United States. Arbitre au mort des États-Unis, Larry Tate. First base umpire from the Czech Republic. Arbitre au premier but de République tchèque, Valdemir Lis. Second base umpire from New Zealand. Arbitre au deuxième but de Nouvelle-Zélande, Gavin Shepard. Third base umpire from Japan. Arbitre au troisième but de Japon, Mochichi Ueda. In honor of good sportsmanship, the players will now shake hands and exchange gifts. Dans l'honneur de l'esprit sportif, les joueurs se donneront maintenant la main et échangeront des cadeaux.
Hello and welcome to the 2014 ISF Junior Men's World Softball Championships here in Whitehorse, Yukon. For Sports Canada TV, I'm your host, Adrienne South. It is Day 6 action. It is Canada taking on Mexico. Both these teams come into today's matchup with a 2-3 record. Canada coming off a tough 5-0 loss to Australia yesterday. They'll be looking to score some runs today to redeem themselves from that one. It's Matt Wardjob getting the start on the mound for Canada. He's allowed 12 hits, 11 runs in 10 innings pitched. And taking a look at Mexico, they beat Singapore 13-0 yesterday. It is Miguel Iweta getting the start on the mound for Mexico. He has a 4.2 ERA, has allowed 9 hits, 6 runs in 10 innings pitched, but he silenced the bats, or he held Argentina scoreless during game day 1 action, so he will likely be a force to be reckoned with again today. Try and keep Canada scoreless throughout this game. So this is a very important game between these two teams and kind of a do or die for Canada. With their thoughts on the game, we'll send things upstairs to our commentators Kyle Smith and Jim Flanagan.
Welcome to Whitehorse. Quick moment to say hello and welcome to our Spanish-speaking friends in Mexico and other parts of the world, if you'll indulge me. Hola, soy Jim Flanagan del Ballpark Radio. Bienvenidos a nuestros amigos de habla España en México y alrededor del mundo. Estamos felices de que nos acompañen en esta transmisión a través de Sports Canada TV. Welcome, bienvenue, and all the other welcomes to all of you across the world.
So as we get set, Kyle Smith and Jim Flanagan here on Sports Canada TV. Our first game today, Canada finally gets out underneath the 7:30 time slot, the doubleheader day for Canada, as they'll get set and take on Mexico. This game, of course, 2 o'clock local time. Later on this afternoon, they'll play at 7:30 against Denmark. That'll be the end of our broadcast day. We've got 3 games in total. The in-between game, it'll be a good one for you here as Argentina takes on Japan in about 2 hours' time. 3 hours' time, and we'll set the lineup for Team Mexico. Enrique Gomez will lead things off, play over at shortstop. Batting 2 is Enrique Gonzalez. Geraldo Borquez will bat third. Daniel Durazo had a big day yesterday, 3 for 3 with 3 home runs in the cleanup spot. Rafael Alvarez bats 5th. Yussi Garcia in the 6th hole. Carlos Marquez will bat 7th. The 8 hitter is Cesar Marquez, and in the 9 spot, rounding out the order for Team Mexico, is Cesar Godoy playing in center. Miguel Iweta, as Adrian said, gets the start today for Mexico. Not batting, though, here this afternoon, of course, as you get used to in the softball world. Generally, for the most part, a lot of pitchers don't see the plate, as I'm sure they'd like to, and they like to stroke with the big stick. But right now, defensively, it's Francois Charles Rene, Matt Pilon, Tyler Paulai left, right across the outfield. That's been the standardized lineup for Jim Jones in the outfield. Curtis Pikeaway, Samuel Bedard Desmarais, Tyson Zare back in the lineup. Johnny Baker over at first base. Tyler Shabata, of course, behind the plate. And Matt Wardrop, the start on the mound. Opener for strike 1. And with that, we'll introduce today's umpires.
Thanks, Kyle. Larry Tate of the USA behind home plate. Vladimir Lis from the Czech Republic down at first. Gavin Shepard from New Zealand at second. Moroichi Ueda from Japan over at third. And on the clock, the 20-second clock, is Terry Richter of Canada. The 20-second clock again to keep things moving. Starts when the pitcher gets the ball. If he doesn't throw the next pitch by the time it elapses, he is assessed a ball.
So right back to the mound, Matt Wardrop trying to bounce back after a rough outing against New Zealand, touched up for a handful of runs. And a good start on the rise. Swing and a miss as Gomez down on strikes. So one quick down here in the inning for Canada. Bounce back game here after the tough 5-0 loss to Australia last night in the 7:30 time slot. So a quick turnaround, quick reset and refocus as they come back to play Mexico.
Kyla, a couple of teams with similar records, 2 and 3 coming into this one, so both faced with a must-win.
Definitely don't want to go down to 4 losses. Bedard Desmarais in time at first and take down Enrique de Gonzalez on the 6-3.
For the most part for Mexico, lots of offense. Kyle talked a bit about it, the home runs yesterday. They have been scoring lots of runs. The only time they didn't was that opener against Argentina. Mata going 8 innings and shutting them out, but then Argentina has shut everyone out thus far.
Have yet to surrender a run, that Argentine pitching staff, as that pitch comes across for a strike.
Kyle, I think Mexico is the kind of team that could cause problems for Canada. They do score runs in bunches. That's seemingly the problem Team Canada has had, surrendering too many runs to this point in the tournament. They'll have to replicate what Argentina did in that opener if they're to be successful against Mexico.
Well, that's just it. And there's a hot shot. That one going to carry and say bye-bye baseball. A home run for Geraldo Bordequez. As you get to the meat of the lineup, these boys swing some heavy sticks, and just like that, Canada down 1-0. So caught too much of the plate there does Wardrop, and that one gets lifted well out and beyond the fences. Here's a boy you don't want to mess with. Daniel Durazo had 3 home runs. There was 2 no-doubters and then a wall scraper in the process yesterday as that ball misses down and away.
Saving grace for Wardrop, nobody aboard, got the first 2 batters of the game, so if he can limit it to those situations, he'll be better for it. Teams like New Zealand, it seems like every time they hit a home run, a couple 3 on base, they'll score in bunches. That's going to be the key for Wardrop today, to stay out of that big inning of Mexico.
You're exactly right. Wardrop, swing and a miss by Durazo as he goes up the ladder trying to catch that one, and he'll come up empty, run the count now, 2 balls and a strike. Called for strike 2. Right on the plate as Durazo lets that one go, and that one caught a little bit more of the plate than I think you'd want here, Jim Flanagan.
Certainly with Mr. Durazo standing there with a bat in his hands.
2-2. There's that big looping swing we've seen all week as that one goes foul. Durazo's got quite easily the longest swing here this week. Likes to put on a bit of a show. Pimped a home run yesterday on the no-doubter, the one that Joe Todd said bruised one of the trees in center. Walked about 5 feet up the line, then got into the home run trot. Not this time, as goes up the ladder again. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Good squeeze up by Shibata behind the plate. So couple that with that one lone solo shot. Puts Mexico up by a score of 1-0 after half an inning. We'll come back with the bottom half. Canada coming to the plate on Sports Canada TV.
Would the owner of a gray Yamaha V-Star motorcycle parked in the bus zone please report to the front gate? The motorcycle may be towed, not immediately.
Back inside the Pepsi Softball Center, Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan here from Ballpark Radio on Sports Canada TV. Glad you're going to spend some quality time with us here today. A matinee affair for Team Canada as they get their double day in. This one and then 7:30 tonight against Denmark. Canada has to win this one to keep their hopes alive of the championship bracket. A lineup very similar to what we saw against New Zealand. We'll run that down here momentarily. As open up for strike one does Miguel Ueta.
Kyle, Tyler Pauly, one of a bevy of top leadoff hitters in this tournament. We've been chatting about it. Vincent Harris of New Zealand, Bryce DeCharme of the USA, Tio Migliavaca of Argentina. Very impressive looking kid.
Long run for UC Garcia. He'll get the job done. On the flyout, one down in the inning. It's Pauly, Samuel Bedard Desmarais, Taylor Shibata, 1, 2, 3. Pikeway, Pilon, Charles Rene, 4, 5, 6 hitters. 7, 8, 9 is Boyer, Baker, and Zaire for Jim Jones and company. So that's the lineup Canada will put on the diamond here today in the batting order for this one against Mexico. Little inside curve come around the back door for strike one on a swing and a miss. Update on the other diamond, looks as though it's now 6-0 in favor of Team USA.
Young lefty for the USA, Colin Hopkins, getting his first duty of the tournament.
Ball and a strike. So a 2-1 count here to Bedard Desmarais. Has been a mainstay in the lineup since day one. Trying to get back on track after last night's tough one against Australia. After falling to New Zealand, Canada on a bit of a slide here. And a roller. Play by Gomez at second, on to first. That's the one thing we've always talked about with these Latin teams. Defense is a strong suit for the Latin American teams. And a lot of that, Jim, has to do with a lot of the baseball influence that they play growing up.
Absolutely, and I guess prior generation even more so than soccer, though soccer certainly seems to be moving ahead in some departments. But it is a sport played in the Spanish-speaking countries across the globe.
And that pitch misses outside. After Pauly and Bedard Desmarais go down, it's Taylor Shibata who comes to the plate. Tyler Pauly, though, seems to be the spark plug. When he struggles, it seems as though Team Canada has some struggles, setting the table for the boys behind him. Saw that last night against Australia, as that one comes across the plate for called strike. Count runs now 2-1. After a tough night at the plate, though, Pauly still hitting .563 this week for Canada. And that one will miss for ball 3. 3-1.
Shibata with 6 hits right behind Pauly in that category. Pauly with 9 already in the tournament.
Pauly going into last night was right in the running for top hitter. And Shibata draws a walk. So Taylor does his job. Look for Bedard Desmarais to come on out and run for him. And we will see just that as Bedard Desmarais heads out to first base. So exchange the catcher for some speed.
Temporary runner for the catcher, number 5.
So that message gets relayed upstairs to the scorekeeper. Want to say hello to AJ Moses watching back in Ontario, tweeting in to the broadcast. You can join the conversation on the side of your broadcast window, hashtag 2014 Junior Softball, or send us an email live at ballparkradio.com. And that one catches the knee for called strike 2.
On that Twitter page that you see in front of you on the viewing portal, you don't have to type in that hashtag. It's built in to that page. If you just click where you see it, if your Twitter page is open, it'll come up automatically. Very easy to drop in and share a comment or a thought as the game goes on. Those thoughts being shared worldwide.
So Curtis Pikeaway at the plate now for Canada with 2 down, and Bedard Desmarais at first base for Shibata. Off speed. High bouncer. Got to hustle, got to hurry, and it bounces foul to the right side. So we'll do that again, as just couldn't keep the English to the left side. This diamond a lot tighter and quicker than the diamond number 2. A lot looser. You can notice a lot more footprints over on that diamond. So we're live infield here on Diamond 1, as we've seen. 1-2. And Pikeaway lifts that up. Trying to get it out of play. They accomplished that. Plays it off the bounce. Nice play by the spectator to grab that one up.
Pikeaway with just 3 hits in the tournament to date, but they've been productive ones. He is among the top 2 or 3 in RBIs for the club. Has also drawn 5 walks, so he's been on base more than the hit tally might indicate.
Into the dirt as Uleta can't find the zone on the 2-2 pitch.
Ueta was not overpowering against Argentina in that opener, but 7 scoreless. Did a good job of mixing up the pitches and the speeds. Has a very good changeup.
And foul that one off. Sends the Mexican coach back into the dugout. And the count stays at 2-2.
I guess that opening game with Mata shutting out Mexico, a harbinger of things to come for them. They have replicated it 5 more times, now at 6-0 atop the heap as the only unbeaten team.
Uleta misses down and away for ball 3. 3-2 the count. 2 down here in the inning as Pikeaway trying to start Canada's offense. Stifled the last 2 nights. Down and away, ball 4. Off and moving was Bedard Desmarais with the full count, and another walk for Pikeaway.
6 walks already in the tournament, double anybody else on the club. So good patience from young Curtis.
That pitch down and away for ball 1. Matt Pilon stands at the plate, the center fielder. Called a strike. And again misses. Count now 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 runners here for Canada. Had the same situation last night against Australia. Were able to get the runners into 2nd and 3rd and then stranded them promptly. And again, takes for called strike 2. 2-2.
Pilon with 3 hits in his 11 at-bats, but also 4 strikeouts, so seems to be hit or miss.
Two pitch. Off speed, little roller. Nice backhand play by Gomez with it, all in one motion, a little flip toss for the 4-3 to end the inning. And after one complete, Canada trails Mexico by a score of 1-0 on Sports Canada TV.
That's the third out, which ends the first inning. There were no runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. At the end of the inning, the score is Mexico 1 and Canada no score. Et voilà le troisième arrêté qui termine la première manche. Il y avait aucun point sur aucun compteur, aucun erreur et 2 coureurs laissés sur le tapis. À la fin de la manche, le pointage est 1 pour le Mexique et aucun pointage pour le Canada. Please join us in thanking our volunteer sponsors, Pepsi and Air North, Yukon's Airline. And a huge thank you to all of our volunteers who help make this event happen. Oui, nous joignent à remercier nos commanditaires bénévoles, Pepsi et Air North, le chaîne aérienne Whitehorse. Un énorme merci à tous nos bénévoles qui aident à réaliser ce événement.
Back with you in Whitehorse. Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan here with you. On a overcast day, it was sunny when we started at the ballpark here today, but the sun is peeked back behind the overcast clouds. Looks as though it's going to get a little brighter here in a little bit as blue skies rolling in from the left.
Guarantee you it will be brighter at about 7 p.m. when we get the laser beam that comes in for that hour of very bright sunlight towards the, I guess, the middle or end of the day here. Sun never setting in Whitehorse.
And that one misses for ball 2. Swing and a miss.
Alvarez, one of their better hitters on the club, hails from the Baja Peninsula, just south of San Diego. Rafael has played in one of the California tournaments out there, the Cal Classic. Familiar to some of our California viewers, including Team USA assistant coach Greg Hicks.
That pitch will miss, up and out, 3-1. And a bouncer, 2 little hops. Bedard Desmarais on to first to take care of Rafael Alvarez. His own personal cheering squad down in front of us. 1 down. Coming into today, everyone played 6 games except for Canada and Mexico. This their 6th of round robin. We'll round it out to 7 by the end of the day, meaning only 2 more days of pool play here in Whitehorse. Reaches for that one. Bedard Desmarais, one knee on to first. Nice backhand grab by Samuel. And a pair of 6-3 put downs.
Much to the delight of his personal cheering section right in front of us here in the booth. We're up behind home plate, looking right down the right field line. Only better view than that is on Sports Canada TV. They'll give you a look at every part of the field.
That one comes inside for strike one. Come inside and around the letters for ball one. 1-1. It's Carlos Marquez here at the plate as that one again misses top side high. Marquez comes in hitting an even 400, 2 for 5 on his week. And that one misses down and away. This power hitting team has 12 home runs in 5 games here this week so far. Make that 13 with the one from Borquez in the first as that line shot goes foul on the left side. Somebody warming up down in the bullpen area already. Eric Healy playing protector. There's number 72, Ty Randerson, getting loose. Good spot by third base camera operator Kat Britton and Adam Donnelly to my left. And called strike 3. Caught him looking as Marquez down he goes by the wayside. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Canada down by a run on Sports Canada TV.
That's the third out, which ends the top of the second inning. There were no runs on no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base with the score Mexico 1 and Et voilà le troisième retrait qui met fin au début de la deuxième manche. Il n'y avait aucun point, aucune pousseur, aucune erreur et aucune coureur lancée sur les buts. Avec le pointage Mexique 1 et Canada aucun pointage. For your own safety, please be aware that during the course of play, softballs can be thrown and hit into the stands. They can travel at a high rate of speed. Do not throw the ball back onto the field of play. Return them to the box behind home plate. Pour votre sécurité, veuillez être conscient que dehors le jus des balles de softball peuvent lancer et frapper quand nécessaire. Veuillez être prudent alors que les balles de softball arrivent à vitesse élevée. Ne lancez pas les balles dans le terrain de jeu et récupérez-les dans le droit derrière la zone de but.
Back with you here on Sports Canada TV.
Leading off for Canada,
Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan
number 15, numéro 13.
with you.
Left field, Sean Gauche, François Charles.
And it'll be Francois Charles Rene who will lead things off, the 6th hitter for Team Canada here today. As he takes for strike 1 across the knees. And bunt foul. Strike 2.
Single double homer for Rene, his 3 hits in 10 at-bats to the midpoint yesterday.
Ureta. 2 bouncer. Gomez grabs it at the eyes and on to first 4-3. Got to hit it harder on the ground to pop it through on this infield with the Mexican national team on the diamond. You'll have to punch some holes to pop it through. And foul that one off. Just got a tip of the bat on it. Does Justin Boyer.
Kyle Boyer with just 6 at-bats, 1 hit in the tournament. You've seen Canada more than I have. Their DP spot, how have they been using that?
Boyer's been in and out of the lineup. Was in last night, stays in the lineup today. Have seen Randerson in the spot, as well as a few other handful of players, but kind of a DP by committee, I guess, as the situation predicts or dictates. Earlier this week, it was Randerson in that spot, and since pitching his game, and now he focuses on that. That's where they seem to keep him. They'll use him just as their lone pitcher.
Set lineup 1 to 9 for the most part, or have you seen?
It's been interchangeable, kind of as the games have dictated or as the game before has gone. It seems Tyson Zaire has been in and out of the lineup here this week, as that one goes up high and into the glove of Gomez playing at shortstop, Enrique. It's Enrique Gonzalez playing second base. A pair of Enriques at the top of the order for the Mexican national team. And that one goes for strike. And a roller again. Gomez with it on to first as he takes down Johnny Baker. (6-3) across the diamond, and brings us to the end of the second inning. We'll send things down field level with Adrian South. Looks like she's got some Team Canada supporters. Adrian?
All right, thanks, guys. I am joined by some very special guests, Lynn Elliott and Justine Mueller. She is the mother of Josh Elliott from Team Canada and girlfriend of Josh Elliott. Now, he is one of 4 players from the Saskatchewan Junior Diamondbacks. What does it mean to see him play here in the Canada uniform?
Oh, so proud. It's so much fun and exciting. Yeah.
And what about you? What are your thoughts so far on the tournament?
We're having a good time, and it's nice to see the boys wear the maple leaf on their chest.
And now, you told me earlier that 3 of them have played together since Pee Wee. So not only is he living his dream, but he's living his dream with his friends. What is that like?
Oh, they've been together for a long time, and they have had such a blast so far, and this just is icing.
And now, you said that they were all in the same hotel room at tryouts, and they all kind of got the call one at a time. Tell me about that.
Yeah, they stayed an extra day in Toronto to see a Blue Jays game, and they were waiting for their call, and Josh got the call first, and he made the team, and then they waited for the others in their hotel room to get the call, and so very exciting. They had so much fun.
And which one of you guys got the call first?
Definitely his mom, but I was second.
And how is he feeling coming into this tournament?
Very excited, just so happy to be a part of such an amazing feat, and I'm glad I'm here, and so is Lynn.
It's a great place. We wouldn't have come probably for any other reason, so we get to see the Whitehorse as well.
All right, anything to say to anyone watching back in Saskatchewan?
Oh, cheer hard.
And what do you want to say to Josh?
Good luck, and you can swing and hit the ball very well.
All right, thank you so much, ladies. I will send things back up to the broadcast booth.
Thanks a lot, Adrian, as you get the flavor of the tournament and what it means to travel with family to one of these events. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, though now on the 2-year cycle, you could definitely maybe see a Junior Worlds twice in your lifetime, as that one a swing and a miss. Run the count up full at 3-2.
I guess in theory, even 3 times, depending on where your birthday falls, technically, but I think most of the programs just happy to have the kids back for a second run in many cases with the youngsters. USA among them, 7 kids coming back. The Denmark team we saw. Fuzzy faces over there look like they'll all be back in 2016 in Midland, Michigan.
And that's really what Team USA shooting for, is that Midland, Michigan in 2017, as that one gets lifted up on the left and into the glove of Charles Rene on the run. Nice play by Francois. Takes care of Cesar Marquez.
You are correct, Kyle. Much like Argentina was in 2012 when they hosted in Paraná. They had never medaled. They did so in fine fashion, grabbing the gold, and they are doing everything they can do to hold on to that here in 2014.
Well, we talked with Julio Demarche yesterday. Adrian had him on after their win against New Zealand, and he said the main focus of his job is to get them ready for the senior team and develop these young kids along the way. And really, as long as he does his job, the wins will come. But most importantly, he said, you know, winning's important, but he said the bigger thing is to get them ready for the senior team. So Cesar Godoy will be the second batter here for Mexico, as Wardrop and Shibata cycle through a few different balls, trying to find the one that they'll like to throw. The 9-hitter here for Mexico, and called strike. One, two count. And straight back for even the count, still at 1-2.
Kyle, quick update, 6-4 USA over Singapore. So Singapore, who is still looking for their first win, climbing back into that game. They're currently in the top of the fourth inning. USA could ill afford to let Singapore pass them after the big win yesterday over Japan.
2-2 on the outside for ball three. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Everybody would like to see Singapore get their first win of the tournament here at some point.
Excuse me?
Except for
Not
my
today.
broadcast partner. And a nice play by Tyson Zaire on the backside on to first. 2 down in the inning.
No, you're correct, Kyle. Some great sportsmanship we've seen from the youngsters out of Singapore. From a USA viewpoint, we'd be happy to see that win come any other day. But the USA, as we mentioned, a big win yesterday over Japan. So they moved to 4-2. Japan dropping 2. They fall to 4-2. That Singapore game is certainly one the USA needs to tuck away. Having a little bit of trouble over there. Singapore scoring 4 runs in the bottom of the third. 6-4 right now, USA on top as they head to the fourth.
So top of the shop we go, and Enrique Gomez now at the plate. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch from Matt Wardrop. Matt gets the start today for Team Canada, back on the mound after a night's rest. 0-2. Just misses for ball 1. Wardrop swung on down the line, goes foul. Good sized crowd here for the matinee game of Team Canada. Maybe a few people knocking off a little bit early from work. Canada will be back at it, I'm sure, with a full house tonight against Denmark at 7:30. Our in-between game looks to be a good one, with Argentina and Team Japan taking the diamond against each other.
As we've seen during the course of the week, many of the clubs sitting as a group watching the other teams play when they're not. Kyle can't see that far through the fence over there.
And a swing and a miss. On strikes goes Gomez. Out number 3, up and down they go. Strikeout number 4 for Wardrop. we will head to the bottom half of the third inning coming up here on Sports Canada TV.
Let's go, Canada. Get going here. Come on, Rich. Come on, let's go, Canada. Wake up.
Back to work comes Ureta as on the mound here for Mexico. Playing in the bottom of the third inning. Tyson Zaire will lead things off. And misses for ball two. Little look back from Geraldo Borquez to the home plate umpire. Tyson trying to find his way through here after the game-winning hit against Team USA. Had his struggles against New Zealand, sat out last night, now back into the lineup for Jim Jones. And a two-bouncer up on the infield. Gonzalez on to first. 4-3. So Tyler Pauli now will come to the plate.
5 of 9 outs so far on ground outs. 4 of those over to the right side to Enrique Gonzalez. Ueta doing a good job of nursing the ground balls or coaxing them off the bats of Canada.
And down and away for ball one.
Kyle, I guess when you have a defense like Mexico does, that's the bread and butter. You want the ball on the ground. You want your infielders handling the ball.
Absolutely. Sure-handed middle infield with the Enrique boys, Enrique, Gomez, and Gonzalez. Canada got a strike here soon. Don't want to let Ureta get into much more of a rhythm on the mound. And that one misses as Pauli watches it go to 3-0. So you're going to have to come with meat and potatoes here on the 3-0 pitch. See if Pauli gets a green light. Takes for strike one. Now works. Gonna lift that up. Overruns UC Garcia. He'll give way to Cesar Godoy, who makes the grab for out number 2. Takes for strike one, does Bedard Desmarais. Trying to push Team Canada across here. Little lift. And a good block by Borquez behind the plate.
Following in the shoes of Matthew Waugh, Kyle?
Yeah, similar background, but Matthew, more of your slashing through the box. Haven't seen that much from Bedard Desmarais. Is more stationary. Jim Jones would like to talk with the home plate umpire, Larry Tate. And now will result in Tate going out to the mound. So the game within the game within the game starts. Looking at the glove, it appears. If we can get a close-up of the conversation on the mound between the umpires, looking at something. And some head shaking out there.
Almost as if to say you can't do that, or whatever you're doing you cannot do.
There's a lot of people in there, a lot of people involved in the conversation. Surprisingly, the umpires don't get everyone to back up and just have the conversation one-on-one. Maybe thinking that there might be some substance on the glove of Ureta.
See that less, obviously, these days with the advent of Gorilla Gold, which is a permitted substance. A lot of the pitchers that we've seen in the tournament using that, they'll just tuck it in the back pocket,
There
leave
you
it
see
hang
it. There
out.
you see him going in the palm of the glove, putting his fingers on it. The umpire checked that, has deemed it to be sufficient. And he'll go dead at the plate. Gorilla Gold, the only approved substance other than, of course, rosin in your rosin bag. But the fact that he's going there, that's surprising that they'll let that go. We'll have to check in with Bob Stanton on that with the application of Gorilla Gold or other such items. Bob Stanton, of course, the umpire-in-chief here this week for the ISF Director of Umpiring from New Brunswick. And a little underhand flip on to first, so 4-3 again. Jim, you talked about it, the right side infield getting a workout. That'll be 6 to the right side, no runs, up and down they go. And after 3 complete, still 1-0 in favor of Team Mexico. Back with you to the top half of the 4th inning we go. Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan from Ballpark Radio joining forces with Sports Canada TV.
Want to give a quick cap tip to our crew here for this game, directing it Adam Connolly. Over on the graphics board, the man himself who heads up the Sports Canada show, Choi Brown. 3 cameras around the field behind home plate, where she was all day yesterday, Jillian Landrigan.
And a nice play by Pikeway on to first to get the speedy Enrique Gonzalez.
You'll see Jillian behind home plate on that center field camera from time to time. That center field camera manned by Forrest Mann. And over at third, Kat Britton. Thank you, and we appreciate all the great work Sports Canada TV has done. We are delighted to partner with them for this 54 broadcast program.
That one goes up and out for a ball. War drop. Well into the dirt as Borquez takes for ball 2. It's the lone run on the board is Geraldo Borquez's solo home run back in the first inning. And that pitch misses up and out. Called for a strike. 3-1. And a roller to the mound. War drop. 1-3 to take Borquez down with 2 down in the inning. Daniel Durazo will come to the plate.
Now batting right now, batter number 23, number 24. First base, number Daniel Durazo.
Durazo striking out back in the first inning. And that one will miss for ball 1. Have to be careful with Durazo. Had 3 home runs yesterday afternoon. And launches one and pimped it again. See ya! A solo shot for Daniel Durazo makes this a 2-0 ball game.
Both fences and some more tree damage out in right center field. A monstrous towering drive off the bat of Durazo. He sat a game yesterday. I don't think you'll see him sitting many more in this tournament.
Well, Durazo starting to find his stride and find his swing. As I said, he came to the plate. He had 3 yesterday and 3 at-bats. Now 1 for 2 with a home run.
14 home runs in the tournament for Mexico, if you're counting.
And now Rafael Alvarez will come to the plate. Inside for strike 1.
Again, nobody aboard for the home run, as was the case for Borquez's home run back in the first, so the damage limited. But Canada still digging a hole.
Skipped it in the dirt for ball 1. The hole got just a little bit bigger, now down 2-0 here in the 4th. Inside for called strike 2.
Update in that USA-Singapore game. The red, white, and blue now up 7-4. They're in the 4th.
And a bouncer, hard shot. Desmarais in time and across the diamond. 4-3. After the home run, you get the next out. But it's 2-0 now in favor of Team Mexico. As Durazo powers one out to right center. And we'll come back with the 5th on Sports Canada TV.
The Whitehorse Daily Star is the official newspaper of the 2014 Junior Men's World Softball Championship. Pick up a copy to start today or visit whitehorsestar.com for all of your championship.
Back to the bottom of the fourth inning. And that one right on the plate for a strike.
Number 79, catcher, receiver, Taylor Shibata.
And that one down and away for ball one. One. Called for strike two. It's Taylor Shibata who stands at the plate here for Team Canada. Walked back in the first inning. And
Just missed with that one, just
Foul.
off the line.
one, two. Shibata lifts that up left and foul. Had a few people get out of their seats hoping for good things from Shibata. Count runs now 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Shibata lifts that one. Maybe fall in, but on the speed of Godoy, he'll track it down. Just hung up in the air too long off Shibata's bat. So fly to the center fielder for the first out of the inning. And now Curtis Pikeaway will come to the plate.
Now batting maintenant au bâton, number 24, numéro 24, third base, troisième but, Curtis Pikeaway.
Down and away for ball one. Right on the plate. Strike one. Evens things up at 1-1. Just off for ball two. 2-1 the count is Canada trying to wake these bats up, scuffling along. They've had 2 runners, but both came on way of walks. As that one misses, 3-1. Canada hasn't scored in 11 1/3 of an inning. On a bit of a schneid here. Called a strike. Last time Canada was able to push a run across was in that New Zealand game, extending the game to the 6th and 7th. And a little roller by Pikeaway. Nice hands by Gomez on to first in time.
You know, it's odd how things have, the fates of a couple of teams like Canada and the U.S. have turned since that wild affair when Canada took the 7-1 lead into the last inning, let it get away, the U.S. up top 8-7, only to have Team Canada come back and take it away. They left the ballpark that night on a high, yet it's been the USA that got hot afterwards.
As that one gets fouled off by Matt Pilon.
I think sometimes when you let a big lead like that slip away, it can dent your confidence a bit, maybe carried over into some of their plays since then. But again, one of the big problems that Team Canada has had is giving up a lot of runs in the tournament.
0-1, that one gonna hit him on the back as Pilon will head down to first base. And now Francois Charles Rene will come to the plate. Ground out in the second. Other than those 2 walks, it's been a quiet day, and even those walks are quiet when you look at the scorecard.
On the other side, Mexico just 2 hits, but boy, 2 big hits.
And check swing foul. Can't get the bat out of the way. Oh, 1 is Canada trying to muster some offense, trying to avoid that 4th loss here at the ISF Junior Men's World Championships. By my math, Jim, I think 4 losses would all but eliminate you from potential on the top side of the bracket.
It looks that way. Japan falling to 4-2. At one point, there were 3 teams head and shoulders, and everybody else fighting. Maybe a 5-4 you could have sneaked in. But with Japan falling to 4-2, you've got Argentina unbeaten at the top, 6-0. New Zealand 5-1, and right now, at least, Japan and the U.S. 4-2.
Though Japan could fall to 4-3 as that little roller. On to first in time. 4-3 again on the ground on the right side. And they'll leave a man on base. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left. We head to the top half of the 5th. We'll send it down field level with Adrian South. Adrian?
All right, thanks, guys. I am joined by a very special guest now, Jim Shibata, father of Taylor Shibata. Now, earlier in the game, we spoke with parents of the Saskatchewan players. Now it's time to talk about Irma, Alberta, and the connection here. There's quite a few players on the team from Irma.
Yeah, there's 3 boys, Taylor and Zach Mackay and Justin Gainey.
What does it mean for you to see him playing here in this tournament?
Pretty proud. It's an accomplishment to play for Team Canada at any level, at any sport. And no, they're doing good. They're struggling right now with their bats, but hopefully they get it going here against Mexico, and we can move on from there.
And now Taylor is the lone player on the team that placed 4th in Argentina, played on the national team before. What's kind of the difference between that, and how much has he developed since that tournament?
Well, since that tournament, well, actually, just before that tournament, we won midget nationals in Fredericton in 2012, and then they went on to the tryouts. So that helped. Going from Argentina, they started off pretty rough because they all got sick. Food poisoning, and but it was a good learning experience, and they were kind of grooming him for here because he was the only guy that was available to play from that tournament because of his age. And just the last couple of years playing back in Irma against the men's teams and another nationals last year in Quebec, and it all helps. It's all experience, so they're doing good.
Anything to say to people watching in Alberta?
Hi everybody. Whitehorse is nice. People are friendly. And if you get a chance to get up here, come up here. It's good.
I guess the other thing I was going to ask quickly is, what was it like when they all found out that they were on this team together?
It was good. 2 years ago, there was actually 6 boys from Irma that made the team. This year, the 3, and Zach and Taylor are cousins, so it makes it a little special. It's family, and for a small community of only 400 or 500 people, a village, it's awesome, actually.
Lots of interesting connections here, and with that, I will send things back over to the broadcasters.
Thanks, Adrian. Another neat connection. The Irma Alberta squad very proud of their players here this week as they send 3 men to the ISF Junior Men's in Whitehorse. Count runs 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the top half of the 5th inning. Early starting to become late here, Jim, for Team Canada. As Johnny Baker will make that grab for out number 1.
It is Mexico, as we said, just a couple of hits, the big home runs, and sometimes you can rely a bit too much on that. You get a couple of big bombs, you get some adrenaline pumping over there, but you forget you got to continue to score runs. I'm sure right now in the 5th inning, Mexico would like to add 1 more, give themselves a bit of a cushion against Canada down the stretch.
And off speed, falls in for a strike to Carlos Marquez. Big boy at the plate here, Jim, designated player for Mexico. As Taylor's dad said, he the returning player for Team Canada, and he has caught every inning to be had for Team Canada this week, yet to get a reprieve.
Somehow I don't think he minds.
Two-one pitch. Off speed. Little extra hold for the umpire on that pitch. Can run the count to 3-1. And that one goes sky high. Easy stride for Pilon. He'll make the grab for out number 2. So 2 in the inning. Cesar Marquez will come to the plate. Marquez flying out back in the 3rd inning on a called strike.
Quick update on that USA-Singapore game. Still 7-4. Singapore batting in the bottom of the 5th inning. Chasen coming on to pitch for the USA in relief of Colin Hopkin.
And again, Larry Tate says touch high. So the count runs now at 1-1. Called for strike 2. Wardrop works a 1-2 count. 2 in the inning down. Rise lays it off, does Marquez. Had worked for Wardrop thus far, though that the first time laying off. Called strike 3. Down on strikes looking. A 1-2-3 inning. Canada trying to take some momentum to the bottom half of the 5th. It comes next, right here on Sports Canada TV.
That's the 3rd out, which ends the top of the 5th inning. There were no runs on no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. With the score Mexico 2 and Canada no score. Et voilà le 3e reflet qui mettait le début de la 5e manche. Il n'y avait aucun point, donc aucune victoire, aucune erreur et aucune coureur laissé sous les buts. Avec le pointage Mexique 2 et Canada aucun pointage. Please join us in thanking our community sponsors, Northwest Town, Midnight Toyota, North 60 Petro, Subway, Total Track Yukon, and the City of Whitehorse. Oui, nos joints, la remercie nos commanditaires communautaires, Northwest Town, Midnight Toyota, North 60 Petro, Subway, Total Track Yukon, et la ville de Whitehorse.
So a little encouragement from the crowd here in attendance, trying to spark their team on, down 2-0. Justin Boyer. Swing and foul off. Got a piece of home plate umpire Larry Tate. Day 6 of competition here in Whitehorse. Just a mere 4 days left in front of us before we crown a champion at the 10th ISF World Juniors. And that one gets fouled off.
Please bring the ball back to the box behind home plate.
Oh, 2. Ball into the dirt. by Ureta. And ball just below the knees. Borquez thought maybe they had one there. Right up the middle, Boyer comes through with a big hit, the first one here for Team Canada. Will send a little life here to the crowd in attendance.
Up to that hit, just 3 base runners for Team Canada. The 2 walks way back in the first inning, and then the 2-out hit batter, Pilon, hit in the 4th. A bit of life for Canada here.
So Johnny Baker now takes for strike 1. Baker, lots of potential in that bat, got some pop. Has seen time middle of the order though, but falling down to the 8th position now, mixing things up. On top of that, foul ball.
Kyle Ureta for Mexico, the only pitcher in the tournament to shut down 6-0 Argentina so far. Your impressions in this one?
Defense is solid. I mean, Ureta not overpowering, just hitting his spots, working the ball in, out, up, down, and offers you a lot of different looks. But for the most part, Canada just not able to square anything up. Almost a situation like we saw earlier, maybe not getting their pitches to go at and chasing a few, but right now just scuffling. The bat's not with some life and trying to find. Maybe Justin Boyer sparks that. Hitting becomes contagious, as we know. And Baker going to lift that up on the left side, right into the glove, though, of Marquez as he strides across to left center. The other thing is Mexico in the outfield has been placed almost to perfection here today. Not a lot of running for balls.
Couple of really good hard hit balls, that one included, but seemingly right at or right near the defenders. Canada unable to find that gap in between.
Called for a strike here to Tyson Zaire. He grounded out, as a lot of people have, to the second baseman Enrique Gonzalez today. And a bunt down. Out at first as Alvarez picked it clean. So Zaire sacrifice. 5-3.
I guess if you're Canada, you would like to have seen that with nobody out.
Baker didn't even turn to bunt in his at-bat. And now Tyler Paulai, top of the shop. Tyler looking to break out after a bit of a mini slump that he's been in the last 2 games. There's a hot shot, stung. And Garcia catches it and says, not on my watch. Out number 3.
3 hard hit balls to the outfield in the game by Canada. 1 to each of the outfielders for Mexico. Side retired, Kyle.
Well, Canada gets their first hit of the ball game. Maybe the positive sign out of that inning. Finally get a hit. Finally get a runner on. Up to second, but no further. We'll come back with the top of the 6th on Sports Canada TV. Back as Wardrop gets set to work. And a bunt popped it over the head of a charging Pikeaway, but goes foul.
5 strikeouts in the game for Wardrop to date, just the 2 blemishes on the scorecard. Home run to Borquez in the first, home run to Durazo in the fourth, the 3-4 hitters for Mexico.
Bunt or slap up the bag and right on top of second as it pops out to center field. So Godoy starts it off with a single.
Now batting, number 1, numero 1.
If you're just getting in with us, Canada trails by a score of 2-0. It's been 2 home runs, one in the top of the first inning by Borquez and one in the fourth by Daniel Durazo. Other than that, it's been neat and tidy for Matt Wardrop. As that one catches on the plate for strike 1. Just 2 mistakes by Wardrop, and Mexico has made him pay. And a little slash. Desmarais got to hurry. No play as he'll hang on to it. So fielder's choice for Gomez.
Wise move by Desmarais, held onto the ball, looked over to second to make sure the runner wasn't going anywhere there. Update from the USA-Singapore game, still 7-4, USA on top. They're now in the 6th inning. USA ahead by 3, but really unable to put Singapore away the way some of the medal round clubs have. I suppose a win is a win.
You are correct, sir. Canada would gladly take a win by any means necessary right now after 2 in a row and foul that one out.
Canada with Singapore still on their schedule. As we mentioned, both of these clubs started today at 2 and 3. Canada with Denmark, Japan, Singapore to go. Mexico faces Australia, Denmark, and New Zealand. So that schedule favors Canada. Mexico with 2 medal round opponents, Canada arguably with just 1.
That one gets fouled off. If you're Team Canada, and Mexico for that matter, you hope that Argentina defeats Japan and they fall that much more back towards the pack, trying to secure that 3-4 spot. And a nice pickup by Shibata behind the plate.
Kyle, you and I talked about it earlier in the week. Potentially that 4th spot, the so-called bubble teams, we could wind up with a tie, and then you go to head-to-head or run differentials, runs allowed, and so forth. So it'll get interesting down the stretch.
That not going to favor Canada as they have allowed a good number of runs here this week. That one fouled up and caught by Taylor Shibata behind the plate. So 1 down in the inning.
Situation there where Mexico really has to get the ball down. You start out maybe a big inning, 1st and 2nd. Got a chance with your big boys coming up, 3 and 4. You want to move them over. Gonzalez unable to do so.
Canada's given up 32 runs to this point coming into here. So add 2 more, that'd be 34 runs allowed, just 22 runs scored. So a -10 on the differential. Ball 2 as some of the crowd getting restless here in Whitehorse. Japan has scored the most runs as that one gets fouled off. Of course, 55 runs scored, 33 of those coming in 1 game. So a little inflated statistics there, but
or a little more than inflated.
Since then, just 22 runs in 4 games. And the count runs now 3 balls, 1 strike.
Pitching and defense, the story for Japan. Most of their other games, low scoring affairs.
Up the middle, the wave around. Speed bobbled in center. Up to third goes Godoy in to score. And now to second is Gomez. So back up the middle goes Borquez. Hard hit single. And now a 3-0 deficit. Time called as Jim Jones will head to the mound. Third time through the order here for Mexico.
2 hits in the inning, doubling their total, as we mentioned at the start of the inning. Just 2 hits, the 2 home runs from Borquez and Durazo. Borquez getting 1 here along with Godoy. So 4 hits on the day for Mexico, and the dangerous Daniel Durazo at the plate.
Diawakam, load the bases and take your chances on the 5, 6, 7 hitters that are combined 0 for 6. Throw on the 8 hitter 0 for 8.
It's a lot like the situation we talked about USA yesterday. Did they walk Kento? Kento had a single double homer in the game. He was a one-man wrecking crew. My answer in that case was yes, you don't let him beat you. In this one, down 3-0. Canada cannot afford to see that score jump to 6.
So is that an answer of yes, you walk him?
CC.
Jonathan
Oui,
Cardona will pinch run at first base.
Some hitters in the lineup can beat you. Durazo right here in this situation can bury you.
You never let the best hitter beat you if you can control that.
That's my view of it. 60 feet of real estate, not much to give up here.
Looks as though they're going to pitch to him, or at least miss with the opener. And here's the other thing. If you're going to walk him, we'll have to see how this plays out. Why not just turn around and say 4 balls? Don't even throw a pitch.
Absolutely. The international rule, he doesn't even have to throw 4 pitches. He can just tell the umpire, and Durazo will be down at first. The so-called intentional walk, I'm just not a fan of.
I don't know if it's an intentional. They're looking like they're throwing to him on a rise. And they're throwing to him. Pops it out on the left side. Wheel around the wave around. Into score. And up to third. Moves Cardona. Safe at second is Durazo. And into score comes Enrique Gomez.
Durazo, his second hit of the day, just making hitting look very easy the last couple of days. The big fella comes off for a runner.
Candelario Ortega will come on and run. So Canada took their chances, rolled the dice, and didn't come through as Durazo drives in the 4th run here for Mexico. And that will do it for Matt Wardrop. So Ty Anderson will come on.
Well, we have a break in the action, an update from the other field on diamond number 2. USA still on top by a 7-4 score. That game now entering the 7th. Zane Chasen, the kid from Alma, Georgia, came on in relief of Colin Hopkins. Hopkins went the first 4, surrendered all 4 runs to Singapore in that 4-run third. Since then, just the USA adding 1 run in the top of the 4th as the USA tries to add another win. They entered that game 4-2. A win over Singapore would leave them at 5-2 with 2 tough opponents to follow, Australia or Argentina, then Australia.
So Alvarez comes to the plate with 1 down and 2 runners on at second and third. Alvarez 0 for 2 with his first times to the plate. Randerson. That one into the dirt, knocked down by Shibata. And lifted foul out of play. 2 ground outs, one to the left, one to the right, up the middle both times. As Raphael trying to get on base. Bunt down. Right there, Shibata tags out. And the player is right in the face of the umpire, Larry Tate. Now both coaches getting in on it. And we're going to appeal. They win the argument. So you see the conversation. No tag now. And I'm sure we'll have an argument from Jim Jones. So I'll tell you now, you will not see this one get reversed back to out. Jim Jones vehemently or animated, to say the least.
It was home plate umpire Larry Tate on the call, went down, had a conference with Moroichi Ueda from Japan, and then the reversal.
So Jones still applying his debate. And in the indication from Jones, he's saying, you're right here. The other umpire's at least 70 feet away. Jones getting his piece in. And Larry Tate still discussing with Jim Jones. So still in the ballgame, though, having his say. As now he will walk away. Have a few words for Ueda as he heads back to the dugout.
Kyle, your view, not as a broadcaster on it, as an umpire, how do you see that?
Well, if you're going to overturn that one, Moto Ueda has to say for 100%. Now they got the runner between third stuck up, and on the tag, knocked down is Ortega. So 2-5. Cardona had come in to score on the fifth run as Alvarez had the hit that was out in front of the plate. Fielder's choice to Alvarez. Garcia, as we catch you up. We'll have to slow this down. It was with runners on. Cardona running for Borquez, and Ortega running for Durazoan at the time of the hit by Alvarez. In front, the tag, originally called out, reversed by Ueda to Larry Tate on the safe call. And here's the play. You be the judge. Bunt down in front. Foot down. Tag at the same time. Pretty close. Not even sure if the tag actually made contact. Looked as though it did. We'll have to get another look. Maybe in between innings, we'll get Adam to roll that one more time.
Great job by Sports Canada TV on that replay.
Cap Britton at third with the camera work. Strikeout of Garcia, but 3 runs come across for Team Mexico. And we'll take one more look. So the bunt down in front as you see at home. Now we're going to slow it down a little bit more. Shibata reaches. Looks as though the tag, but is the foot down? Roll that forward again, Choi. Tag, foot, pretty close. If they say no tag, that's one thing.
Just goes to show the tough job the umpires have. They get one look. We got 3 or 4, and we're still talking about it.
And that's the part where I say that if Ueda comes in to change that call, He needs to be 1,000 times % sure that there was either no tag or the foot down on the base ahead of the tag. Being 90 feet away, well, not 90, he's probably 60, add 10, 70 feet away from the plate. You have to be 1,000 times % sure that you saw that play correctly as an umpire if you're coming in to overturn it.
Concur.
So 3 runs come across for Mexico as Samuel Bedard Desmarais will come to the plate.
You have to say that base running blunder kept Mexico from tacking on a few more.
Yeah.
5 is a big hill, but it's still in sight for Canada.
Anything's possible after the U.S. comeback in the Canada game. 7 runs in the 7th inning as one of the fans in front flips the cap on as a rally cap, trying to spark this Canadian offense. Bedard Desmarais 0 for 2 today, 2 ground outs. Rita, a bouncer. Back on the pedal, Gonzalez played it like a pro, let it take the in-between bounce. And another 4-3, a trio of 4-3s for Desmarais with 1 down in the inning.
7 outs on the 4-3 variety in the game. USA now on top 8-4 over Singapore. USA batting in the top of the 7th.
Just 4 outs made outside of the infield. Ueta has had Canada's number off balance, haven't been able to square anything off. Trail by a score of 5-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bouncer. Oh, nifty play by Gomez. If you aren't going to get it through today, Jim, it's not your day, as Gomez just stifled that ball.
Great hands, remarkable defense for Team Mexico in this game. Quick note on that USA game, Tyler Booley continuing his hitting onslaught. A double in the 7th brings home Pernetti, the hero of yesterday's game against Japan.
And into the dirt for ball 1.
Marcus Chu started that game for Singapore. Gave way in the 1st, though. USA scoring 5 big ones in the 1st. They've not surrendered the lead since.
Foul that one off. Curtis Pikeaway at the plate, a walk and a ground out to the left side to Gomez. And a roller again. 4-3. Call it 8 on the day for Enrique Gonzalez.
We've seen that movie before. Kyle, you mentioned Ueta not overpowering, not a lot of strikeouts in the game, but with this kind of defense, you don't need to be.
You're absolutely right. We head to the 7th inning. It's 5-0 in favor of Mexico against Canada on Sports Canada TV. Back to the top half of the 7th inning. 2-ball count here to Carlos Marquez. And that one fills it up for strike one. Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan here with you this afternoon on Ballpark Radio and Sports Canada TV. 2 more games on our docket. The next one coming up, it will be a big one. Japan against Argentina. Should this whole score hold, Canada would love to have Japan fall back to the pack and also need some help later on throughout this tournament. Canada going to put themselves in a hole as they'll fall to 2-4 on the week. And that count runs now up full at 3-2. Randerson on in relief from Wardrop. Called strike 3.
The standings at the start of the day, as we mentioned, Argentina 6-0, New Zealand 5-1. Those are the top 2. Then you've got the U.S. and Japan at 4-2, Australia at 3-3, Canada, Mexico starting today at 2-3. Czech Republic, Denmark, Singapore rounding things out at the bottom.
Called for strike 1.
4 teams of the 10 advancing to the championship medal round, the others to a consolation bracket.
And that one on a line of the play. So 2 count. Randerson, that one goes up the ladder and fouls it off. Does Marquez. If the playoffs were to start today, Argentina, New Zealand, United States, Japan would be the teams moving on to the top side as that ball gets lifted up out towards left center. Pilon going to use all 243 to the wall to make the out. Had all of 2 more feet to use till the fence. We've seen the ball jump here on Diamond 1 this week. Already seen Pilon make 1 outstanding catch reaching across the fence to end the Czech Republic game. And that one in for strike 1.
That was the shot on the official tournament website on the Flickr page. Lots of great photos up there. Be sure and take a peek.
Seems like forever ago since day 1, as that one fouled straight back.
I don't look at the calendar anymore. I just look at the schedule, Kyle. 54 games here in Whitehorse. 54 broadcasts on Sports Canada TV.
0-2. Rise ball misses for ball 1. And to the backstop that goes. The new look from behind home plate, the camera station on the crossbar as Marquez getting so close to it. Climb the ladder, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down they go in order, no runs and nothing else. It's last call for Canada, trying to keep their tournament hopes alive for that championship side bracket here on Sports Canada TV. Back to the bottom half of the 7th inning. As I said, last call for Team Canada here this afternoon. Start with a hit, build off that. At the end, you hope you're 5 runs stronger. There's the first one. That's what you got to start with. Pilon comes through with a base hit. And now Francois Charles Rene will be pulled back from the on-deck circle, as we'll see a pinch hitter here after Rene goes 0 for 2. It's Nick Penner who comes into the ball game.
Only the second hit in the ball game for Canada. A couple of walks back in the first, the hit batter in the 4th, and Boyer's single to lead things off in the 5th.
Nick Penner 2 for 5 here this week. Seen limited time in the diamond. 2 singles, an RBI for Penner.
Kyle, you said it at the top of the inning, perhaps time for Canada to empty its bench or get some hitters in there. Something different than what we've seen in the first 6 innings.
Penner swing and a miss. Goes chasing. And through the wickets. Late jump for Pilon, but the way that goes, he'll be up to second base on a wild pitch.
Couple of pitchers up on the right field sideline for Mexico. Not going to take any chances despite the 5-run lead. As we saw from the USA-Canada game, things can change in a hurry.
Just 1 hit to this point, now 2. And a swing and a miss by Penner. 1 and 2.
Mexico just counting outs right now. They need 3 to lock up this one.
Trade outs for runs if you have to at this point. And Penner, little roller. Durazo got a hustle, got a tag on the shoulder for out number 1. 1 down in the inning, and Justin Boyer will come to the plate.
Only the 3 fly ball outs, all 3 hit fairly hard by Canada. Everything else pretty much on the ground to short and a lot to second.
Boyer, that one going to go off the instep towards the ankle even, as he fouls that off. So runner over to third now for Canada is Matt Pilon. Boyer had that hard hit single back in the 5th inning. Canada would love to have another one. A few rally caps on in the VIP section for Team Canada, trying to spark things. Misses for a ball. Looks as though with the dust flying across the ballpark, Jim, that USA game's gone final.
It has indeed. 8-4 final USA over Singapore. That runs the USA record to 5-2 and puts them currently in 3rd place in the standings, jumping ahead of Japan, who they knocked off yesterday. That win over Japan, historic proportions. They had never beaten Japan in international competition. So Tim Lyon, Scott Standifer, and Gary Mulliken has their troops on a roll. 2 tough opponents coming up with Argentina, Australia.
Hot shot by Boyer. And missed it in left field does Cesar Marquez. Into third comes Boyer, standing there with an RBI triple. Marquez has been Johnny on the spot a couple times. This time comes up empty and a run in to score.
We talked about Canada, just 3 hard fly outs during the whole game. And the defense by Mexico had been flawless. Not so there.
Not sure Jim couldn't get a good look if he made contact with it.
He did. Don't know if we'll have time for a replay, but came in. It was a hard struck ball and tailing, but a lot of leather. It looked like it caught him by surprise with a tail at the end. I have an error in my book, but doesn't matter what you call it. Canada calls it a run. and another just 60 feet away.
Canada gone 13 innings without a run. Now puts one across.
Sometimes that's all it takes to break the ice, get the players to start believing in themselves again.
Pinch hitter for Johnny Baker will be number 9.
As long as it's not in the red.
Justin Gainey, part of that Irma Alberta connection.
So we do our best to try to make sure that it meets the standard set by ISF.
So Kyle, Team Canada following your lead with the suggestion of the pinch hitters. Everyone threw the lineup a couple of times and nothing to show for it. The new kids changing that.
It can't exceed 14.
And a block up by Fortes behind the plate as Ureta struggles to find his command.
It'd be a hotter bat. So we try
Poses an error on Boyer's hit. There's one down in the
that
inning.
the exit speed of the ball is at what's been judged to be a safer speed for the game.
There's a bat ring.
And on the plate for
they'll ring the
strike
bat,
one.
To make sure there's no deformities of the bat, any dents, and then they'll visually inspect.
Miguel
the
Await
bat
to the starter for
cracks.
Mexico, still in the
other thing
game.
we're looking for
Shut out
is
Argentina
the
for
ISF
7
logo
and held
is
Canada
on all
down until
approved
now.
bats. After it passes
And laced
that,
on the left
it'll go
side,
through the bat
foul.
machine that we just saw on compression, and then actually they'll match this bat
Well,
to
the
an
third
approved
time through
bat
the
list
order
by
here
the
for
ISF.
Canada.
Believe it or not,
So
the bat
think
list changed as of July 9th,
if
right
you're
before
going
the
to do any
tournament
damage,
started.
this
So there's
would be
new
the
paperwork
time
coming
you
in, new
have
bats
your
all the time
adjustments
that
in
bat
place.
manufacturers are registering. So that's
Or pinch
exactly
hitters.
what happens. Bats get tested, checked.
Empty
they'll
the
get
bench,
rechecked
nothing
for
to
the
hold
tournament
back
so that
here.
no bats are being brought in. So
Push
that we
those
have the
right
safety of the
buttons.
players at first hand in mind. So that's the process that
Ureta.
bats go through here at the ISF World
Down and
Tournament.
away for ball. Check swing off speed pitch from Ureta.
Gainey looking up with a smile, almost as if to say, oh, he almost got me with that one.
So the count now 2-2 to Justin Gainey, pinch hitter for Johnny Baker. Reaching for that one, fouls it off. Up the line, foul.
You know, Durazo down at first gets around that bag pretty well for a big guy. Very sure-handed.
Quick feet.
Alvarez at third, very good defender.
UC Garcia takes 3 steps in on the direction of Durazo. And foul that off again. Just getting a piece of it, enough to stay alive. Ureta. That one goes up on the infield. Back in the pedal goes Gomez. He'll make the grab for out number 2.
Gomez going back on his heels. Cesar Marquez coming in from left, but it is the general of the infield, Gomez, squeezing it for out number 2.
So Tyson Zaire played the hero in the USA game. Back in the lineup after the night off, has gone 0 for 2 with a sacrifice 5-3. Down to their last out is Canada. Got to make something happen here with 2 out to keep your hopes alive. Inside for a ball.
Volume levels here in the bleachers coming down about 5 notches. You can almost feel the wind dropping the sail as if the calm and the storm.
Right on the plate for strike 1, 2-1. And bounces away. In to score is Boyer on the wild pitch. So 2 runs in and restack with the bases empty. Count at 3-1.
You take the run if you're Canada. One more on the tally, but something about a bases empty situation in the 7th with 2 out. Always hard to restart or reset that rally.
Zaire pops that out. Long run. Got to dive. Got to hustle. Falls in for a base hit. So Tyson Zaire knocks one down.
Zaire answering me with a single to center. Restarts the rally.
So Tyler Pauli now comes to the plate. As we said earlier, trying to break out of a bit of a jam. 0 for 3 today. Struggled last night for Team Canada. Had a hit late in the ball game.
Looks like that'll be all for Ueta. We'll wait for the announcement of the relief pitcher here.
Howdiel Olais.
Howdiel Olais will come on. We saw him the other day. Howdiel Olais. If you're scoring at home while we have a moment, I'll spell it. It's a tongue twister. J-A-U-D-I-E-R, the last name O-L-A-I-S. Howdiel Olais.
So a new pitcher comes on in relief after 6 2/3.
Very different delivery from Olais, a very stylish turning sideways, the foot kicking up towards his hip. A little bit of a distraction for the hitters that we saw the other day who were facing him. Very effective. A bit more of a strikeout pitcher than is Ureta. Keep the book open on Ureta. Tyson Zaire belongs to him. To this point in the game, 2 runs off Ureta. The inning started with Pilon in the single to left field. After Nick Penner, the pinch hitter, ground out to first. The triple/error to left field, bringing home a run. And then scoring on the wild pitch. Kyle?
So Zaire at first, and the opener misses for ball 1. It hasn't been a good situation for relief pitchers coming on for teams this week. Most times the ball is leaving the yard. There's one. Gonna carry. Off the wall. Tyson Zaire gets the wheel around. Ball kicks away. Jones stop sign up. E-break on. And a triple for Tyler Pauli. That one had a chance to carry the wall, but it ricochets and kicks off from Cesar Godoy.
Kyle, that one brings the Canadian faithful to their feet. The volume levels go up, the sails go up, and the boat starts to move again.
So Bedard Desmarais comes to the plate with a runner at third now. Canada making some noise. Swing and a miss out in front of Olais' pitch.
You know, it was Pauli, really the only player on Team Canada to reach the outfield. 3 flyouts that preceded it. they couldn't get to that one.
Olais works, and a roller. Bedard Desmarais on to first in time. Canada's comeback falls short on the 1-3. Didn't give up, battled hard. But you can make the final 5-3 in favor of Team Mexico.
The fans here in Canada on their feet, giving a good round of applause to the kids from Canada. They went out fighting, gave Mexico a scare there in the 7th, Kyle.
Well, they gave them all they could handle as trying to battle back. Down 5-0. They muster up 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. What it would have been different had Paulai's ball carried just that little bit more. But still with the triple head, the momentum on their side, and Olais on the heels, but able to throw one down and away, and Desmarais just a little grounder back to the mound. So Canada now falls to 2-4, and that danger zone, as we said, not sure if the 4 losses will get you into the playoffs. Canada with 3 more games yet to go in round robin.
Those 3, Kyle: Denmark, Japan, and Singapore in that order. On paper, you would expect them to beat Denmark and Singapore, making that matchup with Japan a key if they're to stay alive at all for that 4th playoff spot.
Canada needs some help now. They need some more teams to fall to 4 losses. And Canada now has to run the table if they're going to make their way into the top side of the bracket, that page playoff system for the championship bracket. As we look around, I'm not sure if I see Adrian with anybody as of yet. So for now, we are going to
quick cap of the standings, if I may,
Sure.
while we're looking to see. At the top of the heap, of course, Argentina, unbeaten at 6-0. They have not surrendered a run in 6 games. New Zealand in the 2 spot at 5-1. If the playoffs started today, those would be the 2 teams with the double life in the page system. In the 3rd spot now, the USA, who has come back with some wins, including one today over Singapore. They're now at 5-2, with Japan at 4-2. Those would be the 4 teams in if it started today. Mexico moving to 3-3. The Australians 3-3 now after a win yesterday, and Team Canada falling to 2-4. They still have 3 to go: Denmark, Japan, and Singapore, but they'll need help. Kyle, still looking, I think, for Adrienne South down in the field.
Well, we're told she's going to have some words with Fred Redhead, just waiting on his arrival. Fred, part of the coaching staff of Team Canada.
Take a moment and say again our thanks to the great video streaming crew here from Sports Canada TV. Our director on this one was Adam Donnelly, doing some great work, including that replay on the controversial call at home plate. That was a reversal that went against Canada.
Jim,
Kyle?
she does have Fred Redhead, so we'll send it down field level with Adrienne South. Adrienne?
Fred Redhead, not quite the score that you were looking for. You guys managed to come back a bit, but what are some things, some positives to take from this game?
It's disappointing, of course. We battled right to the end. The guys were really trying at the end, and we never quit, and that's a big positive. We play for Canada, and that was our biggest positive, but their pitcher threw a good game, and we just come up a couple runs short.
What do you need to do to prepare for your game against Denmark later today?
Well, we're just going to have some lunch, go back to the college, rest up, and talk about the lineup. So we're just going to go back and have some rest and regroup.
What are some things aside from Iwata pitching? What are some things that you think Mexico did well in this matchup?
Well, they've got a good ball team. Their defense is as good as anybody's in the tournament, and the 2 home runs from the 3 and 4 hitter gave them the start. So they played a good ball game.
All Great. Well, I won't keep you too much longer. Thank you very much for making the time for this, and best of luck in your game tonight against Denmark. I will send things back over to Kyle and Jim in the broadcast booth.
Thanks, Adrian. As you hear the words from Fred Redhead, just go get some rest and regroup and get set for your next game against Denmark. We'll have that here for you on Sports Canada TV at 7:30. But for now, we'll sign off, get set for our next one. It's going to be a good one. Big standings matchup. Argentina taking on Japan. For Jim Flanagan, I'm Kyle Smith. For Troy Brown, Adam Donnelly, Julian Landergren, Kat Britton, Force Man, and of course Adrian South down field level. We'll see you at 5 o'clock.